What if everything you've learned about Pythagoras barely scratched the surface? We remember him for the triangle. But what if the real genius of Pythagoras had nothing to do with geometry and everything to do with the soul? He wasn't just a mathematician. He was a mystic, a seer, an initiate in the mysteries of ancient Egypt. He founded a school where students swore vows of silence, not out of discipline, but because the truths they were about to encounter were considered too powerful, too dangerous, too sacred for words. Today we're opening a hidden door into the forbidden teachings of Pythagoras. Forget the textbook. This is about what didn't make it into the classroom. Pythagoras taught that the universe is not made of matter, but of music. Not the kind you hear, but the kind you feel. He believed that every star, every planet, every soul vibrates with a frequency. Together, these frequencies form a cosmic harmony, the music of the spheres. We don't hear it because we've been swimming in it since birth, like a fish unaware of the ocean. But for Pythagoras, number was not a tool. It was a truth. Each number carried an essence, a purpose. 1 was unity. 2, division and contrast. 3 brought harmony. 4 created order. 10 was the completion of all things. He observed that music, true music, followed perfect ratios. 2-1, 3-2, 4-3. And he realized the laws of music and the laws of the universe were one and the same. To live well was to live in harmony. And harmony wasn't just about tones. It was about how you breathed, how you spoke, how you thought. His disciples didn't study in classrooms. They tuned their bodies and minds like instruments. They used music to heal, silence to awaken, numbers to remember. And what were they trying to remember? The soul. According to Pythagoras, the soul didn't die. It migrated through time, through forms, through bodies. This wasn't just reincarnation. It was metempsychosis, the soul as a traveler, carrying with it the subtle echoes of every life it has lived. He taught that you might be a philosopher in this life and a bird in the next, not as punishment, but as part of a cosmic classroom where every experience teaches the soul something it must learn. And the goal, to escape the cycle, not through worship or ritual, but through self-mastery, inner balance, silence, virtue. Pythagoras believed the body is not who we are. It is where we are, a vessel, a test, a bridge. So he built a community, not a religion, but a living philosophy. Men and women came from across the world to his academy in Croton, not to get answers, but to learn how to listen to the questions. Before speaking, they would remain silent for months, sometimes years, because in silence the soul begins to hear again. And through that listening, truth could emerge. Their life was a rhythm. Wake, study, meditate, eat, sleep, in harmony with the cosmos. They studied music, astronomy, sacred geometry. Not to accumulate knowledge, but to become knowledge. The tetractys, a triangle formed by the numbers 1 to 4, was their sacred symbol. It wasn't just math. It was the structure of reality. To swear by the tetractys meant committing to truth, in thought, in word, in soul. But the world outside didn't understand. As the school grew in influence, it became a threat. The temple was burned. Many were killed. Pythagoras fled. But not everything was lost. Fragments of his teachings remained, carved in stone, whispered through centuries, and coded in symbols. Even now, traces of his vision appear in sacred architecture, in mystical traditions, in the quiet intuitions of those who still listen. Modern science is only now catching up. Quantum physics speaks of vibration. Biology sees symmetry and proportion in DNA. Music therapy heals. Geometry reveals. It is as if the truth Pythagoras whispered in ancient silence is now rising again in the noise of the modern world. But to truly understand it, we must become quiet once more. Because some knowledge isn't heard. It's felt. The universe is not chaos. It is a composition, a melody, and you, yes you, are one of its notes. When you're out of tune, you suffer. But when you vibrate in alignment with who you really are, the music returns. And maybe then, just maybe, you remember. You were never just flesh. You were always vibration, always soul. And now, perhaps, you're ready to walk the ancient path again. Thank you for listening. If this message resonated, maybe it's because you've heard it before.